Cats, they're funny things, aren't they? All that purring, that meowing, the loud brawls at 2 AM, louder sex at 3 AM, and of course, licking their anus. Not to mention being all cyborgy and trying to curb the ambitions of a villainous character called the Big Cheese and his lot to become the Emperor of Little Tokyo by using martial arts and futuristic weaponry. What, your cat doesn't do that? Well, bin that bugger like that woman we've all forgotten about from about 10 years ago. And get this is Samurai Pizza Cats. Now, Samurai Pizza Cats, who are they? Well, that information begins right about now. As you can tell from both the title of the game and the very anime visual, Samurai Pizza Cats can find its origins in the land of the rising sun. The show Kyatto Ninden Teyandee ran from February 1990 to the same month the very next year. Saban Entertainment bought it over to the United States and then they adapted the series into a 52-episode series. But just like they did with the Kamen Rider aka Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, it wasn't a straight-up redubbed version of Kyatto Ninden Teyandee. This was instead completely rewritten from its Japanese source material, from the ground up. Emma Thompson's dad did a similar thing with the Magic Roundabout from its original French animation. It was given a more comedic, wackier bent to it than the original, but it still kept the basic conceit. The theme for Samurai Pizza Cats played up to several cultural references, throwing shade at the Ninja Turtles at one point. Don't you go throwing shade at the reason why you're probably over here, what with being anthropomorphic hero ninja creatures. It was also sung a little bit like Pee Wee Herman. Who do you call when you want some pepperoni? Very weird. The plotline features the machinations of the overreaching rat PM of Little Tokyo, the Big Cheese. And you know what? He needs to be stopped. He's aiming to put one over the doddering Emperor Fred for his own criminal ends. Princess Violet, the Emperor's daughter, is actually the one who's sort of in charge of the country at the moment. And when she figures out what this sneaky rat fella is up to, she enlists a palace guard commander called Big Owl to form a group assigned to stopping this clandestine tomfoolery that will only end up making it look like a right shithole like Crawley or Basildon. The three heroes, Speedy Cerviche, Guido Anchovy and Polyester, were they collectively known as the Samurai Pizza Cats. Why? They are cyborg samurai who work part-time in a pizzeria. And they're cats. Samurai Pizza Cats has been broadcast in 33 different countries across the world, with the UK having it shown on ITV. The American version of Samurai Pizza Cats has become an enduring cult hit with anime fans for its knockabout silly nature. It was reasonably popular in most Western countries, which is why it's a bit of a surprise that there was no interest from Tecmo in adapting their 1991 Famicom title Kyatto Ninden Teyandee to the NES. While, yes, this was a transitional period where NES owners were trading in their consoles for the newer Super Nintendo or maybe even a Genesis, it was still a period when there were a lot of these consoles in homes, and it was a big kids license at the time. And spoilers, it's a really, really decent game. So yes, it is disappointing that this didn't leave Nipponese shores. But thanks to the internet, we all now get to play it. Not legally, but screw you guys, powers that be. You should have given us it back in 1991 or 2. Not only that, but creative, clever nerds have adapted the script to match that of the silliness of Samurai Pizza Cats and put it in English too. You lovely buggers, nerds, keep doing what you do. Have a look online and you'll find the translated version soon enough. It's illegal, but you'll be in for a hoot. Tecmo, a great third-party company in the days of the NES, had fine heritage with the platform genre, as anyone who's played a Ninja Gaiden game can tell you. And of course, because it's an NES license game, it's of course a platformer because it's the NES. What did you think it was going to be? The Ninja Cats are called into action when the Big Cheese makes another big move of overthrowing Little Tokyo, this time with the help of a mysterious scientist, Dr. Purple, who is secretly making him some deadly machines. Uh-oh. Is Dr. Purple going to finally weigh the scales in the favour of the Big Cheese and put him in the Emperor's throne? Not if you can do anything about it. After you've selected your desired stage, each level begins with you then selecting one of the three main characters. Largely they're pretty much the same, with slight differences in terms of weapon range and speed. They also have special abilities that each have 3 power levels that you can top up by collecting power-ups, and these will drain your Ninpo magic meter when you use them. These special abilities will act a bit like the magic in like a Shinobi or Ninja Gaiden game. Sooner or later you'll run up to a literal brick wall though, or some such anyway, that none of our 3 heroes can bypass. At this point, you'll call in a specific character from the rescue team, who each have their own abilities like breaking rocks, swimming, short flight or digging. Upon selecting one of these characters, you will temporarily change into them for a brief period, and each use of their ability will drain this help meter here. And look, household pets as a rescue team using their abilities to help out their brothers. It's a bit Paw Patrol, isn't it? Did Paw Patrol nick their idea off of Samurai Pizza Cats with the rescue team? Damn those dogs, always copying ideas and absorbing all the attention from poor old cats. Rescue team, you should have took advantage while you could. There's so much money in that Paw Patrol thing. They've got like multiple films and what have you. Although probably they both nicked the idea of Thunderbirds, I don't know. Anyway, the rescue team open up whole new areas for you to explore and more than double the playable roster of characters, and they can be called in at any time, provided you've got the juice in the old helpometer. Once it expires, the character you chose at the start will wake up from napping on the radiator and replace the rescue team member. After a while, that bar will replenish again during gameplay and you can call them in again. Due to the amount that you'll need them later on in the game, it's rarely empty for too long. It really opens up the game using the abilities of the rescue team, giving you multiple routes to the boss villains in each of the levels, thus increasing replayability. And my word, will that replaying be a thing you will be doing, as this game is truly one of the best game licenses that I've covered in 5 years. It is up there with G.I. Joe, Die Hard, Batman, New Ghostbusters 2, Bucky O'Hare and Gremlins 2 as one of the very, very, very best NES licensed games. It has been an absolute pleasure to play up there with Mega Man 2 or the Tecmo company's own Ninja Gaiden in terms of its gameplay. It's a late stage NES platformer, which of course is when we got some really system pushing excellence like Little Samson and Kirby. I mean, just look at those graphics. What a beautiful NES title it is. If I saw it on the street, I'd go pss, 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 and hope it came over for a stroke. The world is colourful and diverse in its look. Parallax scrolling is used in abundance, and it features some really big and very well drawn large enemy sprites that lurk within the confines of the world. Animation is pretty decent too, and to me it's a game that wouldn't look massively out of place on the SNES or the Mega Drive, albeit maybe requiring a brush up on those washed out NES colours. It's a really, really good looking game. It plays really well as well. It's such an addictive little title, taking elements from all the best platformers up until that point that were on the system. Surprisingly, its biggest stumbling point perhaps is the exact opposite of what hampered Tecmo's most famous NES series: difficulty. Whereas Ninja Gaiden was extraordinarily punishing, Samurai Pizza Cats feels at times like it's a complete cruise, as leisurely as a cat sleeping on a shed roof at the height of summer. Health power-ups aren't quite as plentiful as Mega Man, say, but they're abundant enough, and it's only in the game's later levels that you'll be really struggling to finish them when the difficulty level ramps up significantly. But for me, this is a huge surprise. Obviously it was a game that I hadn't played before due to its Asia-only original release. God bless the internet, especially what with the English translation being just a few clicks away. Samurai Pizza Cats, or Kyatto Ninden Teyandee, whatever you want to call it. It's an absolute gem, and you should yo-ho-ho pirate this as soon as humanly possible. A tremendous platformer, instantly installed in my top 10 favourite NES games. And you know what? That's completely free of nostalgia goggles, as I'd never played it before. Due to its Japanese-only release, I've got no reviews from the time, so let's just ask this cat what he thinks about it. I think he seems to take to it, doesn't he? So will you. Next up, we go from one singular creature who can swipe out at you for apparently no reason to another, Anne Robinson. Yes, the weakest link. Like, subscribe, and K, thanks, bye.